minister and I was Republic, Slovak Republic. So I needed to explain what it is and so on.
And that was the Ministry of the Czech Republic.
Yes, and Czechs had ministries, so we had ministries of international relations and federal ministry. So it took us some time to explain what it is. And Václav Havel was sensitive enough that when he went to first official visit to the United States in fall '91, he took me, I was part of his delegation. So he had few ministers from federal government, and he took 2 ministers from republic governments. So I was accompanying Václav Havel, George Bush Sr. was then president, so it was my first entree to White House. And just fast forward, 2 years later I was accompanying Slovak president to White House when Bill Clinton became president. And just as part of storytelling, when I became minister, my first foreign visitors, whom I was in charge to prepare, was Prince Charles, today's King Charles III, and Princess Diana. And I didn't know what to do with them because there was no British embassy here. So I had to call to Prague and ask, do we kiss hand or should we hug her? Should we give flowers and so on? So I needed to use the government, don't kiss, don't hug, and so on. Then, since my first encounter with Russian politics was when Boris Nikolaevich Yeltsin arrived. He was on visit in Prague. And at that time, we tried, every foreign visitor who went to Prague, we tried to bring them to Bratislava, sort of to educate them that Czechoslovakia consists of 2 parts. So Boris Nikolaevich Yeltsin came. It was one of the hilarious visits because they arrived earlier. And we were waiting at the airport with Olga Keltoshova, and I'm calling Prime Minister who was supposed to meet him at the castle, ran to castle because they landed from Prague earlier. But they told me that Prime Minister still has some visitor. Oh, and they told me, go as slow as possible. And I was sitting with his security, Korshakov, head of security, a guy who then wrote a book about his encounters with Yeltsin. And he had all his map as security. And I gave command to police that go as slowly as possible. So we were stopping at traffic lights, and he was furious because we went like funeral procession. And I was telling him that we obey traffic law and so on. So at the end, we ended up at Bratislava Castle. And at that time, Boris Nikolaevich Yeltsin had some locomotion problems. So when he was coming out of plane, which we knew that we need to take care of that. But then Korshakov was super angry with me because he blamed me that we are going so slow. So anyhow, I could tell you a zillion stories about how it felt to be part of federal state.